In what has become one of the most shocking moments in recent late-night television history, the legendary actress Meryl Streep was reportedly kicked off Jimmy Kimmel's show following a fiery on-air argument that stunned both the studio audience and viewers at home. The incident has left Hollywood insiders buzzing and fans divided over what really went down behind the glitz of the cameras. Meryl Streep, known for her poise, grace, and diplomacy in interviews, showed a rare glimpse of frustration that no one ever expected to witness on live television. It all started innocently enough, with Jimmy Kimmel joking about her incredible career and her dozens of Oscar nominations. But what began as light teasing quickly turned into something far sharper. Kimmel made a comment suggesting that perhaps it was time for new blood in Hollywood and that older stars like Meryl should consider stepping aside to let younger talent shine. Though the audience laughed nervously, Meryl's face visibly tightened as she tried to keep her composure. Trying to keep things professional, Meryl politely smiled and replied that every generation has its space in the industry and that true talent should not be defined by age. But Jimmy wasn't done. Perhaps sensing the tension, he pushed further, joking that the Academy might as well name an Oscar after her and retire the category because no one else could ever win while she was around. This time, the laughter in the audience felt forced, uneasy. Meryl's eyes narrowed as she responded that while jokes were fine, undermining decades of hard work and dedication was not something she took lightly. Jimmy smirked and shrugged, tossing another line about how certain stars just can't accept that their prime is over. The room grew colder. Meryl leaned forward, her voice steady but sharp, saying that Hollywood had enough men who underestimated women over 40, and she didn't expect that from Jimmy of all people. The tension was now thick enough to cut with a knife. Jimmy seemed momentarily caught off guard but recovered quickly, sarcastically remarking that perhaps she was proving his point about not letting go gracefully. This was the breaking point. Meryl's expression turned from irritation to outright anger. She reminded him clearly and firmly that her work speaks for itself and that real artists do not retire based on someone else's discomfort with their continued success. She listed directors and co-stars who still begged to work with her and accused Jimmy of fueling the same ageist and sexist narrative that had plagued women in the industry for decades. The audience fell into an uncomfortable silence as Meryl's voice rose slightly, her passion clear. Jimmy chuckled nervously, saying he was just kidding. But Meryl wasn't having any of it anymore. She called him out for masking cruelty behind jokes, reminding him that the casual undermining of women's careers wasn't comedy. It was harmful. As the argument escalated, producers backstage were reportedly scrambling to decide whether to cut to commercial or try to salvage the interview. Meryl leaned forward and told Jimmy point blank that the only thing outdated on the stage was his brand of humor, not her career. The audience gasped. Jimmy, now visibly annoyed, snapped back that if she couldn't take a joke, maybe she didn't belong on a comedy show. Meryl stood up, removed her microphone with a firm hand, and said loud enough for everyone to hear that she didn't come here to be insulted under the guise of humor. She turned toward the audience and received a scattering of awkward applause and murmurs while Kimmel sat back in his chair looking both stunned and irritated. The camera operators froze, unsure whether to keep filming or cut away. Meryl gave a final glance toward Jimmy, her expression one of disbelief, and walked off the stage without another word. Backstage sources later revealed that Meryl was furious the moment she stepped behind the curtain. She reportedly told staff that she felt humiliated and blindsided, expecting a respectful conversation about her upcoming projects, not cheap shots about her age or relevance. Her team immediately contacted the producers to file a formal complaint about the host's behavior, arguing that what was supposed to be lighthearted banter turned into personal attacks. Meanwhile, Jimmy Kimmel's team was left scrambling to control the damage, worried about the public backlash they knew was coming. Social media was already on fire within minutes of the incident, with hashtags like #ChowrTeamMeryl and #ChowrKimmelDisrespect trending worldwide. Fans and celebrities alike began to take sides, debating whether Jimmy had crossed a line or whether Meryl had overreacted to what was, at the end of the day, just jokes. Public statements from both camps quickly followed. A spokesperson for Meryl Streep released a carefully worded message, saying that while Meryl respects humor and understands the nature of late-night television, there is a clear line between fun and disrespect, and that line was crossed during her appearance. Jimmy Kimmel's team, on the other hand, released a less apologetic statement saying that the show is known for its edgy comedy and that all guests are aware of the style when they agree to appear. They expressed regret that Meryl felt offended, but stood by Jimmy's right to poke fun. This only fueled the fire more, with media outlets publishing op-eds on ageism, sexism, and the treatment of veteran actresses in Hollywood. What was meant to be a routine promotional appearance had exploded into a full-blown cultural debate. Other celebrities began to weigh in, some defending Meryl fiercely. Actresses like Viola Davis and Helen Mirren posted messages of support, saying that the industry often forgets the worth of experienced women. Even some male actors like Tom Hanks and George Clooney subtly hinted that Kimmel's jokes were in poor taste. On the flip side, some comedians and talk show hosts defended Jimmy, arguing that roasting guests is a normal part of late-night tradition. This division only made the controversy bigger, pulling in voices from all sides of the entertainment world. News programs, podcasts, and YouTube commentary channels dissected every moment of the exchange, analyzing Meryl's tone, Jimmy's smirks, and the audience's awkward silence. The confrontation became bigger than just two people. It became a mirror reflecting Hollywood's uncomfortable truths. Behind the scenes, there were also reports of tension among the show's producers and staff. Some insiders claimed that Jimmy himself was surprised by Meryl's strong reaction, as he had intended only harmless teasing. Others said that writers on the show warned him that such jokes about age and relevance might not sit well with someone as respected as Meryl Streep, but he ignored their advice. Meanwhile, the show's ratings for the night were higher than usual, though at the cost of public criticism. Meryl's PR team reportedly began discussions about future interviews, setting stricter terms to avoid similar incidents. Offers for exclusive interviews from rival networks flooded in, wanting Meryl to speak her side of the story fully. Netflix and HBO were rumored to be approaching her for exclusive documentaries about the pressures faced by older actresses in Hollywood, sensing the cultural moment this clash had created. Kimmel, aware of the growing storm, addressed the incident briefly in his next show, attempting to downplay the drama by joking that he and Meryl were old friends, having a lively chat. But the audience's muted reaction told its own story. No one was buying the casual dismissal. Apology or not, the damage was done. Meryl Streep did not comment directly, but her absence from other scheduled talk show appearances was noted by fans and reporters. Some insiders speculated that legal action might be considered if the show's producers did not issue a formal apology. The Academy and SAG-AFTRA issued statements emphasizing respect for artists of all ages, indirectly supporting Meryl's stance. The situation had clearly spiraled beyond anyone's initial expectations, turning what should have been a typical promotional visit into a symbolic moment for age and gender respect in the industry. As the days turned into weeks, the incident remained fresh in public memory. Opinion pieces, celebrity interviews, and social media debates continued to analyze every aspect of the clash. Would Meryl and Jimmy publicly reconcile? Would the talk show industry rethink how it treats its veteran guests? So far, neither side showed signs of backing down. Jimmy Kimmel's team insisted that comedy must remain fearless, while Meryl Streep's representatives made clear that artists deserve dignity regardless of the setting. The entire event became a defining episode for both their careers. Jimmy, now seen by many as the host who went too far, and Meryl as the icon who finally said enough on live television. In a world where celebrity scandals fade fast, this confrontation stood firm, a sign that even Hollywood's brightest lights can clash when pride, respect, and reputation are at stake.